built this business because you will never be bored. You have the ability to dream beyond what you can ever imagine. You get exposed to things you don't even know exists in the world yet. You don't know it because you have no ability to be there yet to know it. So just get started.
Obviously, I didn't know it was a pyramid scheme.
According to a 2019 article on military.com, military families are at higher risk to be targets of MLMs and pyramid schemes. This is due to the frequent PCS, the shared trust amongst military life, desire for community, and the stable income that service members have. Welcome back to Dependence and Independence. I'm your host, Stephanie, and this is a podcast where we have honest conversations regarding military life. Whether you're military dependent or a service member, my hope is that every episode reminds you that you have a community backing you up in this military journey. Today's conversation is one I think that many people can benefit from. In our community, we often hear about financial freedom, side hustles, and preparing for that life after the enlistment. But what happens when an opportunity that seems really promising turns out to be something totally different? Today, I'm joined by Kevin, an active duty member. He shares how his pursuit of financial freedom for himself and his family led him into joining a pyramid scheme without even realizing it. How a mix of trust, circumstances, and emotions influenced that decision, and what it took to recover financially and emotionally. So, whether you're considering a business opportunity or working toward independence, or just building a better life for your family, I hope this conversation encourages you to ask all the questions and trust your instincts. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome to episode 3. Today we have Kevin as our guest. He shares his experience on trying to gain more control of his life by pursuing financial independence while serving in the military. Kevin, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Kevin, active duty Marine. I've been in for 13 years.
What inspired you to join the military?
Well, it was actually never the goal, but I needed to find a way to pay for college, and I thought the best thing was going to the military route.
What was the original goal then?
Well, the original goal was to at least get a degree, save money, and then open my own business, something with constructions. Well, it's the part about being your own boss and the fact that I think you can control more of the result than depending on other people.
I think that's a really popular insight. I think a lot of us that want to be business owners do have the want to be their own boss. So, what goals were you trying to achieve for your family or for yourself?
Well, for me and my family, it's always been financial freedom. I love spending time with them. And if I get to choose to stay home, then I'd rather do that than go to a job.
Do you think that military life somehow influenced your desire to seek additional income opportunities?
Well, yes. In a way, yes. A military personnel gets a second income just to kind of have a little bit about financial freedom.
Take us back, actually, how you first got involved in and what attracted you to it.
Oh, no, well, with the pyramid scheme, um, the thing attracted me with it, well, obviously I didn't know it was a pyramid scheme, but
Right.
like it's the if I put in this much work and work hard enough and hit the goal, then we can reach the financial freedom that we need to where like I can retire early and be able to spend more time with my family.
Well, how did you get introduced in the first place to this opportunity?
I was in the field. I got sent to the field, and I so happened to ran into a childhood friend, and at that time we wanted to get together again after the field, and that's how pretty much he got introduced. At that moment, I wasn't skeptical about it because, like I said, like he was my childhood friend. I knew this dude for a while, so like I didn't see any agenda of me meeting up with him because I'm that type of dude that if a friend like hit me up and wanted to meet up, I'll be willing to go meet them up. At least for on my, I thought like the whole entire time he was good, but like I guess on my wife's side, she was very skeptical. I think it's a woman instinct.
What signs would you say that stood out?
Looking back at it, it was very scripted, and I just got off from recruiting too, so now I know like
Mhm.
the tactics of actually recruiting people, so
Okay.
to get people's attention and kind of get them hooked into it. Feelings, or like for me, you can tell that like I'm really big on family, so that's what they hit me on. Like, what if like you can get the financial freedom you want to be just able to spend time with your family, not having to work, and able to see our kids grow in front of our eyes instead of like being behind of the desk, on the 9 to 5 job.
Okay. I think what is important to note is that this was around 2019, you mentioned, correct?
Yeah.
Pre-COVID?
Yes.
Okay, so around this time, there was no big TikTok or Instagram reels that was trending and that gave us a good insight of what MLMs or pyramid schemes could look like because I wasn't aware of that until like a couple years ago as well. Um, but now I see it all the time. So I think it's really easy to say it can't happen to me, but I think in general, it could eventually, in the right spot in life, it can happen to anyone. So, with that in mind, what do you think was the moment that you realized that something wasn't right?
Well, it became like they have certain goals for you that they setting up for you, but then like it's hurting more financially, emotionally actually, and mentally. And then it was kind of like affecting. Now I'm not even able to spend time with my kids because I was out there trying to look for like the next person. So it wasn't, yeah, so that was like, okay, like it's going backwards now. So it's not going towards the goal that I wanted to do
And what was promised to you, correct?
and what was promised. Yeah.
Uh, So, what do you think was the hardest part of, I guess, finding out that the opportunity wasn't what it claimed to be?
Well, the hardest part of this one was because during that time, wife gave birth, and like as I mentioned, they were asking more and more,
Hmm.
so we had to like spend money. So we actually drained all our savings because of that, thinking that it was gonna get us to where we wanted to be. So the hardest part is like knowing that we have to start all over again,
Hmm.
financially at least. At least we learned our lesson. At least it pushed me to go and talk to random people, like,
Oh, okay.
and then like talking to them about something that they're probably not interested in, but like
Okay.
trying to get them interested in. So I mean that's
A good skill set to have, right?
yes, and especially if you're trying to have some trying to own your own business.
That's fair. So, in terms of rebuilding yourself after that setback, were there any resources or any community that helped you out or
Well, thank God I'm in the military. For us, we actually we were able to bounce back a lot better than other people, especially people that like had to quit their job.
Mhm.
Like for us, I had my contract wasn't up yet, so like I had three more years once we found out that like that was a pyramid scheme. So I at least we know that I'm gonna receive a paycheck on the 1st and the 15th of every month. So
Beneficial.
it was beneficial. And then we like, the military has financial classes and then financial advisors, so was able to go to that one and just set us up a new goal and pretty much
Work from there.
work from there.
Mhm. What advice could you give someone that might be excited about a business opportunity, but they're not too sure that it might be legitimate?
Do a lot of research. That was the biggest thing. I was not that guy doing a lot of research before. If you even have a little gut feeling that it's not it like maybe follow that gut and ask about it and be open mind, because I know sometimes we get blocked. Our emotion comes with it because you're banking on this opportunity.
What questions do you think they should ask before investing either their time or their money into a business opportunity?
Do they have the capital for it? And do they have the right people surrounding them to support them on this business journey? Or self-reflecting questions. Obviously, business specifically to like what kind of business, then you ask those questions to the expert, I guess. Listen to the people around you. During that time, there was a lot of people in my own little group telling me that it was not legit. But like I said, like my emotions just kicks in, and I was just blocking them off. For the most part, at least in the military, they're always looking out for each other.
That's true. I like that. So do you think it was because of the emotional connection that you had with this individual that brought up this business opportunity that strengthened it so much versus everyone else telling you like don't do it? Or
Well, yes, because
okay.
I grew up with this guy from middle school. We played on the same basketball team, and we joined the Marine Corps actually together. So for us to kind of find each other again after those few years that we haven't seen each other, and it's one of those guys that looked out for me.
Growing up?
Yeah, look, he took care of me because he was way better talking English than me. And in boot camp, actually, he was already about to graduate. He set me up by like giving me a calendar information. So I remembered all those little things that he did for me. And so him introducing this business or that business to me was like, okay, like this guy is looking out for me again.
Yeah, okay. It was familiar then.
Yes.
Those familiar emotions. And then I think you mentioned the fact that he was also in the military, specifically your same branch. He was, yeah, I see how the credibility was so strong with this individual. Would you say that any military experience came to play to help you recover from this challenge?
Um, yeah, sometimes life gives you a curveball, and like like you could just go with it, and then you just move on and you say it is what it is. It already happened. And at least you're in the military, you still have a stable job, and you can move on from it.
Any unique pressures or patterns within the military community that make people more vulnerable?
Well, yes, yes. In the military, you have those long hours, and especially loves to like just be home and like spend time with family. And like it's another military personnel
The
that,
camaraderie, right? I would
yes,
say, yeah.
yes. So that like they kind of use that. uh,
Yeah, because automatically, especially the same branch, automatic trust, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Especially like when we're like in the middle of nowhere or like in a spot you've never lived before and they're more like familiar.
Familiar face. Yeah. So that was the big thing. And then all of a sudden I found someone that I knew for the longest.
Yeah. And I want to add that I think it's also very common because, as you mentioned, a lot of spouses have trouble like securing a job, an actual job, because the moving, the PCS, and not many employers want that. So an MLM or a pyramid scheme seems something more realistic for them to be flexible with their goals and, I guess, overall lifestyle. So, financial independence. So, do you think it's still the same meaning versus? in the beginning?
It changed a lot. During those time, it was like, I'm gonna own like this and this, and like I don't have to work, like so I can spend time with family. So now seeing my kids growing up and financial freedom for me now is like just getting them set up for like once they get old. I don't mind working, set them up to have a better leg up.
Yeah. What about your definition of success? Has it changed over the years?
Yes, I think that kind of like
Aligns a little.
aligns to the same. But now success is, I think, as long as my family's healthy, happy, and we're able to enjoy life without stressing out about money. Kids get set up for college. I think that will be my definition of success now.
That's a great perspective. What advice could you give to someone that feels stuck between either pursuing their dreams and playing it safe? Because I know a lot of potential business owners find themselves in that spot. What do you think you could say to them?
Well, everybody have their own path.
Mm.
I think it's the human nature, like to compare yourself to other people. And then for people that was like trying to keep it safe, that's human. If you're not willing to risk it, then obviously don't risk it, because obviously you're not ready for it. That's,
Oh, that's
yeah,
really good advice. I
yeah,
like
that's
that.
that's how I think about it.
Okay. What lessons from this experience help you move forward? Your relationships, either friend relationships or family relationships.
Just because they're related, just because they were close friends to you, doesn't mean that they have the same agenda for your family. That's what the route I'm gonna go with.
So, in this experience, if you could go back and speak to yourself right before joining that opportunity, what would you tell yourself?
Um, Try it, but don't go too much into it.
Too far.
Step too far into it. I think that's because I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say like it was all negative lessons that like I got into that, because like that's part of life. You just
Mhm.
make mistakes and you learn from it. Hey, it sets me up to be a good recruiter. So
Was that your next
that
station?
that was my next duty station right after that duty station. So it sets me up to that one. It kind of like, at least
Head start.
it was a good head start, because now at least I was promoting the Marine Corps, not some pyramid scheme. So I don't know.
So, what would be one thing that you hope the listeners take away from your story?
You can't just be comparing yourself to other people. You can't judge people for like what they're trying to do too, Like everybody have their own goal.
Mm.
Everybody's gonna do whatever it takes to get to their goal. So whatever your path is, I think you try stick with that path. Don't ever let people sway you from a different route. Do your research.
So, for military spouses, dependents, or any service members trying to build something of their own, what's one piece of encouragement you'd leave them with?
Um, you have the military. I'm not saying this because I was a recruiter, but but like you have resources out there. Especially now working with like the Wounded Warrior battalion. There's a lot more resources out there that not everyone know of.
Yeah, that's true. There's so many. There's so many.
So like hey, maybe life hits you. Just know the military is there, and you just have to ask questions. Like that's really what it is. You just
Mhm.
have to ask questions, and the worst case scenario is they tell you no. But like ask questions, ask the resources, ask whatever they can provide you to make your life easier, to kind of help you set yourself up for your next goal. So if you're a military spouse, bug your partner to like get you to those classes that will guide you, or that will provide you like a bunch of resources, because there is a lot of them out there and you just don't know. They help you with mostly everything: job training, job search, resume, like Like they actually help you out with that.
And this is for spouses, dependents, and anyone
Hmm.
in service? Okay.
And also Military One Source is one.
Oh, yeah.
They're actually really good resources.
And with that great piece of advice, we want to thank you once again for joining us today. And of course, Kevin for sharing his experiences with us. Kevin, thank you again for sharing your story. Kevin's story highlights how setbacks don't define us and how sometimes our biggest mistakes can become great lessons. The right resources, community, and the right perspective can also help you move forward and become even stronger than you were when you started. It's important to note that pursuing your goals is important, but so is protecting them. Do your research, ask questions, and lean on those resources around you. And please remember that success doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Your path is going to be unique, and it's perfectly normal for it to unfold differently. If you enjoyed today's conversation, share this episode with someone in the military community who you think could benefit from hearing Kevin's story. And don't forget to join us on our next episode, where we learn about Tanya's experiences and how the military community impacted her family and her story. As always, keep showing up for yourself and those goals that matter to you. I'm Stephanie, and this has been Dependence and Independence.